Today we're speaking with Tesla guitarist Dave Rude. Of course, Dave, this is for a radio special called Remembering Ronnie Montrose. And of course, you and the rest of the guys in Tesla last year, you took part in a Ronnie Montrose tribute concert. Could you talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
Yeah, man. Definitely, it was a lot of fun. It was about a year and a half ago at the Regency in San Francisco, and that was a real special night. It was great to get everybody together to pay tribute to Ronnie, but and definitely see his influence across so many artists and his impact on so many artists, and they came together to like I said, to pay tribute for him at the gig. And it was really fun. Just there were so many great musicians there. Just watching soundcheck was pretty cool, and hanging backstage, and it was just legends everywhere. And one of the coolest things for me was to see that sort of impromptu, sort of reformed version of Montrose with Joe Satriani on guitar, which was really, really smoking hot, and it was badass.
And now, of course, let me ask you, Dave, because I know before you were in the band Tesla that early on in their career, Tesla had actually done some work with Ronnie in the studio. And do you know anything about that? Have you ever heard any of those stories?
Yeah. We actually did the song that Ronnie brought to the band that night at the tribute show. Because I don't know if most people know, but Ronnie Montrose is the guy who suggested that the band cover Little Susie. Also, another thing a lot of people don't know is that Little Susie is a cover song. It was kind of like a new wave sort of electro dance pop song by an artist called PhD in the 80s, and it wasn't a big hit. And I don't know why, but I thought it was a good idea for Tesla to cover it, and thank God he did, because it was a great idea, and it's definitely one of Tesla's biggest songs. So he was the one that brought that to the band, and I think he worked with them when they were still a punk band, trying to get a deal and everything. I think he did some demos with them, producing them, and working with them before they ended up going on to whoever they worked with in the studio. But yeah, his biggest contribution to Tesla directly was suggesting Little Susie, which we still play that every night 30 years later.
Yeah, wow. And let me ask you, Dave, now were you ever much of a Ronnie Montrose fan yourself? Because most people like myself, when they hear the name Montrose, they immediately think of that 1973 debut album. Did he have any influence on you at all as a player?
Yeah, definitely there. That first debut record, that's the one for me. I love that record, and I love the songs. That was a great lineup and a great band, and the songs are fantastic. And they've got staying power. You can turn on any classic rock station in the country today, 2013, and you'll hear Rock Candy and maybe Bad Motor Scooter all in the same day, probably every day. Literally, it's still got such an impact. And then, not to mention, the impact it had on the industry, just like the sonic aspect of things. I'm sure you may have read, I think it was Eddie Van Halen talking about how when they went in to do their first record with Ted Templeman, they said, "We want that Rock Candy sound that you guys got on Rock Candy for the first Montrose record." And that obviously ended up then through Van Halen influencing myriad bands for decades. So he and the band Montrose had such a huge impact, and especially that record. That's definitely my favorite Montrose record, and the one that I've just sort of gravitated toward the most. But we did a 20 Flight Rock also when we did that benefit show, and that was a fun one to learn, because I only have the first record. But since then I've listened to more stuff he did with Montrose, and it was great. But I also really like the stuff he did, with Victor Winter and his stuff outside of his solo band, which was also really, really great.
Yeah, I really think that night at the tribute concert, they really did a cool version of speaking of Edward Winter group, Free Ride. I really like what they did. Have you had a chance to check out the DVD yourself, Dave?
No, man, out yet?
Well, I got kind of an advanced copy, but I think it's out now. You might, I think it might be easier to order online. I haven't seen it in too many of the stores, but what I got is it's really a great show, and that's kind of what made me want to put this thing together we're doing, because after viewing the DVD, I thought, not only did they put on a fantastic show, but it made me realize that there was more to this man's legacy than just that one album, like you were saying.
Yeah, dude, I mean, yeah, he played with so many people, and songs that are huge. So yeah, definitely.
It's kind of a thing. It's kind of a shame again when people think of Ronnie Montrose, they think of that one album. But like, even if anybody just sits and watches this DVD, you'll see like you said, people might be surprised to find out he played with Van Morrison and Edgar Winter. He had like a 40-year career. So it's just amazing how many other great music he made that people aren't even aware of.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. One of the neat things about that night, it definitely celebrated all the aspects of his career. I knew they were shooting everything. I haven't seen any footage, but I'm excited to. Did they show the Montrose set with Joe Satriani?
Oh yeah, that's all on there, and they got they got a little thing in the bonus section with Dave Mancanti and some other guys, playing a Montrose set, and they got the little thing at the end with Sammy and Bill Church and Denny Carmassi, the original Montrose guys, like you said, with Joe Satriani, and it's really great to see. I guess it's something they've kind of edited together, from what I understand. I guess they for time restraints, they weren't able to get the whole entire concert, but they edited the best the best songs on there, and they got some great bonus features. And again, I think
I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out.
And I think you could go online. I think
his band that he had towards the end of his career. I knew a couple of those guys. I know a couple of those guys pretty well. Dan McNay, the bass player, and Steve Brown's drummer, just fantastic musicians and great guys. So it was pretty cool to sort of be involved with them too.
Yeah, I actually talked to the singer Keith St. John. I guess he's played with Ronnie, for the last 12 years, and he really had some great stories to tell. As a guitar player yourself, Dave, are you surprised that Ronnie didn't necessarily receive the recognition, like a lot of his peers? I mean, I can't remember ever seeing him on the cover of Guitar World magazine or anything like that.
Yeah, he definitely sort of flew under the radar in terms of guitar icon status, but people who know, they know. You know what I mean? People know those guys oh, you heard Montrose? Yeah, okay, you get it. You know what I mean? So which is kind of cool. It sort of adds something to his legacy. At least I suppose everyone would prefer to be the big name and cover the magazine, but hey, it's still pretty damn cool to be sort of cult status and just uber respect from all the players and the writers. Because the other great riffs and writing, song writing, that stood the test of time as well as a player. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe because he had a lot of hit songs, but they were kind of spread out over time and spread out over different bands. Whereas a lot of the big guys, they had all their hits with one band that had tons and tons of recognition. Whereas Montrose were big, but they were never superstar big.
Yeah.
Even though Sammy went on to become huge, but as far as them, I mean, they were only together with Sammy for 2 years or something. So it's a short career, but that's also again a testament to how good it was, because really that first record was the only one with hits on it, and we're still talking about it 30 odd years later, 40 something. It's crazy. So that really shows how great an album it is. Yeah,
and I think too, when you get a chance to see the DVD, the thing that is easily noticed or seen right away is, I think any sign of any great artist is the fact that that many people could get together and cover this guy's whole career worth of music, and the songs, you gotta have good sounding songs, if you know what I mean, and if different people can get together and perform those songs, they come out just as good. That also shows you kind of what a gifted songwriter he was at the same time too.
Yeah, for sure.
And let me ask you, in your few years with Tesla, did you ever get an opportunity to cross his path or meet him personally?
I never did, which is funny, like I said, I was a fan, but, even though those guys knew him pretty well, just hadn't ever worked out to actually meet face to face. But I know Frank met with him, like a couple of weeks before he died, maybe a week or something. There's even a photo of that somewhere I've seen on Canon. But, no, I unfortunately never got to meet him in person.
Well, and talking a little bit about when it was first announced that he had passed away. Do you remember how you first heard the news, or what your initial thoughts were when you first learned that he had passed?
I think we were on tour, and I think Brian got a text and just told everybody, or maybe Frank did, I can't remember. Yeah, we just obviously really sad and unexpected, and it just, obviously sad, obviously unexpected, but it was a little bit even, even worse, than it would have been, I think, because, in the past few years, he had really sort of started to revitalize his career. Like I said, he got a really killer new band going and really started to have a solid lineup, and had started touring a lot. He put out that live DVD, they had a bunch of dates booked, and the summer that was going to be coming up, they were going to be doing a lot of shows. So that just made it even salted the wound even a little more, just because it seems like things were really on the upswing, and hopefully he would have been able to get a little bit more notoriety also within that sort of classic rock fan base. Just sort of people like, oh, cool, he's still around and he's still great, so I'm gonna go check it out, which is cool. That guys could still be touring, that late in their career and still be bringing in people. That's a fantastic thing. So that was definitely a bummer. Plus, we probably would have ended up on the same bill because we played with all the and so that would have been really fun to play a show together.
And let me ask you, Dave, do you think being somebody who was there that night that got an opportunity to play that tribute concert, that you were a fan of his, but you never actually personally met the man, do you think it made it a little easier for you to perform at that show as opposed to maybe some of your bandmates who had met him personally?
Easier how?
Well, I would imagine, when you're up on stage and you're taking part in a show like that, and it's for somebody that you worked with, or in your bandmate's case, they personally knew him, he helped the band out early on, that they might have it might have been tough, paying tribute to a fallen guy that you knew, or helped your band out early on in your career.
Sure, I don't know, I hadn't thought about it. I mean, that could be it, but as sad as it is, honestly, it was a pretty celebratory night. People were in a good mood, in a good way, in a respectful way. Because it wasn't like a wake. It was like kind of celebrating his life and his music. So it was fun. It was like people were smiling and having a great time, and just there was music all day. There were so many artists, and everybody was hanging out and just they're talking about Ronnie and just talking about music, and so it was actually a pretty upbeat affair. Given the cause, which was probably good. I would hope Ronnie would have been stoked about. People were having a great time celebrating him instead of being super sad. So I guess that you might have a point, but like I said, everybody was really kind of in a good mood that night. So it was a good experience for everyone.
And I think that's the great thing about music. Music is one thing that can oftentimes bring people together. For the betterment of things. And again, I hope you get a chance to see the DVD, because if you just look at it, look at the crowd. I mean, it's kind of from a fan standpoint of view, kind of amazing to think, all those people showed up that night. I'm talking about the performers, and all the people in the audience that paid to, go see that show. It's just amazing that, that many showed up for just that one night to, like you said, celebrate this guy's career, pay tribute to him, whatever you want to say, but that that shows kind of a mark he made, and his legacy he left behind.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And now let me ask you, Dave. when I last talked to you, you just released your latest solo album. I think it's called The Key by the Dave Rude band. Are you happy with the response the CD's been getting since then?
Yeah, man, it's been going really well. You know, it's been great. It's been selling and, you know, getting a lot of great reviews, and we've been playing on the radio, so, you know, definitely really pleased and excited about that. You know, people have been reacting to it. We've been selling it out on tour with Tesla at the merch table, and actually been playing a couple songs on the PA before we go on, you know, like mixed in with the other tracks that we play in the house music before the show starts, and you know, people have been digging on that, because we on the album, on The Key, we covered Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer, and that's one that people always sort of notice and pick up on and talk about, and so we started throwing that in the little pre-show playlist on the house music, and people have been pretty excited to hear that, which is nice, and definitely, you know, some of the other original stuff. So it's been well received, and I'm definitely happy about it, and it's still out there. They still got a bunch of cool merch and all that stuff. It's ratpackrecords.com, so anyone who's interested to hear it. But I'm also pretty excited to get to work eventually later in the year on a new record, on a new solo record. So not sure what it's going to sound like, but pretty excited to do some brand new stuff with Rat Pack.
And I guess the great thing about you know, having your Dave Rude band as a solo outlet is, like you're saying, I'm not sure what the next album's going to sound like, but being that it's your solo thing, you know, you're kind of doing outside the box. Like, you know, there's no preconceived notions that it has to sound like, you know, just like Tesla. It has to sound just like this album. You kind of can go in there and whatever comes out, comes out.
Exactly. You know, it's cool. So, you know, I might do an instrumental record, maybe a mixture of both, maybe, you know, some singing songs and instrumental. Who knows, man? I kind of go in ways. One day I want to do like a really heavy stoner rock record, and next day I want to do a pop record, and the next day I want to make a Joe Satriani album. So, you know, maybe it'll be a little potluck. We'll see.
You know, I gotta tell you, you know, you're talking about your version of Sledgehammer. That's actually one of my favorite tracks off of the album. Like, I tell people, you know, I love the original track, you know, by Peter Gabriel, of course, but I think, you know, you even managed to rock the song up, you know, quite a bit. And so, you know, how did you come up with the idea to do that? Was that your idea, or somebody, you know, that you were working with suggested to you?
You know, I think just decided to try it one day at rehearsal, just kind of off the cuff. I don't remember. There wasn't my preconceived notion. You know, we didn't do a lot of covers.
Yeah.
In that band. My theory is always like, you know, why spend the time learning someone else's song when you can spend that same time trying to write your own song, which, you know, might become the next classic song, you know? So it's like, I always would rather work on some original stuff. But occasionally, you know, it's fun to throw in a cover, and we would always kind of try and do weird covers. Like we used to do an Elton John song, and then that one, and, you know, we wouldn't do like your average like Highway to Hell or bar band rock covers, because everybody does those. So it was kind of neat to that definitely fit the bill. Like, let's try something totally different than what you'd expect from a rock trio, and see if it fits. And it was, man, it just worked right off the bat. It's like, whoa, this feels right, even before we were playing it right. It's like, I think we screwed up the intro, but you know, the basic gist of this always sounded really cool. So let's spend a little more time on this and get it right. And it just felt right, because, you know, like, I love the original too, and it's strange to see how it works in two formats, which again is kind of like we were talking about with Montrose's career, spread out over, you know, lots of different artists, and then decades. You know, this Peter Gabriel song, which is the original version, is, you know, total pop, lush orchestration and production, you know, Candyland, and it's just huge in 80s production. It sounds amazing. And then you strip it down to like a trio live in the studio, and like a blues version of it, and it still works, and it's like heavy rock, like losing that verse groove, and it's just like, it's just that. It could be a Rage Against the Machine record, you know, it's huge. And we didn't really change the song that much, we just sort of played it in our context. And I think that really is a testament to the quality of the song, and also it still sounds the same. You know, sometimes a lot of rock guys have heard that version and been like, dude, I hate Peter Gabriel, I don't like that song.
Yeah.
But I like your guys' version a lot, you know, so it's cool, it's pretty flattering.
Yeah, and talking a little bit about the Tesla connection, you know, I think the interesting thing, you know, in doing covers sometimes is like, for example, most people when they, you know, hear the song Signs, they think that's a Tesla original. A lot of people have no idea that that's a song you guys covered, and yet I understand that Tesla's version of that song, you know, really outsold the original song, and that's kind of interesting when you think about, you know, that somebody else covering the song, you know, sells more copies than the original version. That's kind of, you know, an interesting take on things.
Yeah, it's pretty strange, man. These two of Tesla's biggest songs are Little Susie and Signs, which are both covers, and they both, you know, way outsold the originals. I mean, most people haven't even. I think I've heard the original version of each of those songs literally one time in my whole life.
Yeah, and
even before I was in the band.
Yeah, and
like nobody had heard the PhD version of Little Susie, and you know, some people have heard the 5-man electrical jam version of Signs, but you know, nine and a half people out of 10 would think Tesla wrote them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. You know, and I remember once talking to Frankie Benelli from Quiet Riot, and he was telling me, he says, you know, the thing about those 2 Slate songs we did, he says, you know, Quiet Riot got the notoriety. You know, we got known for making those songs, but you know, Slate, they got all the money. He said, so you know, in a way, it's an even trade-off. You know, and
trade-off, but hey, it made those guys' career, man. Quiet Riot, so that's cool.
Now, let me ask you, Dave. You know, talking about the guy you replaced in Tesla, you know, Tommy Skio. Right before he left the band, you know, he started getting into doing a couple of lead vocals, you know, on some Tesla records. I was curious, is that something you would, you know, having done these solo albums on the side, is that something you'd like to get more into, maybe where you might get to do a track or two on a Tesla album, or would you rather let Jeff Keith do all the lead singing in Tesla?
Oh man, no, definitely Jeff is the singer in Tesla, so I would never try and you know, wade into that territory. Just he doesn't need it. You know, I mean, no one has ever sung these on Tesla songs except for Jeff.
Yeah.
You know, that's the biggest element to the band's sound is his voice. So, you know, I love to sing, but I'd rather do it outside of Tesla. As far as being the lead, you know, I sung background vocals on every record like that.
Yeah.
That's fun. You know, I'd love to do harmonies and whatever, and I do it every night on almost every song live. But yeah, Jeff is. I mean, gosh, he's one of the great rock singers in history. You know, in my opinion, and that's again before I was in the band, I thought the same thing, and just always thought he was like a legend. And he still sounds great in his 50s, which is, you know, rare. So definitely want him to be singing as much and as long as possible. And he's still killing it. So, you know, why mess with if it works? You know?
Yeah, I got you. And you know, I you know, besides you, I know some other guys have outside projects outside of Tesla. I was curious, like for example, if you and Frank Hannon ever done any shows together, you know, outside of Tesla, you know, with your solo projects or anything like that, or is that anything you guys would ever do?
Yeah, you know, me and Frank played several shows together over the years, which was always really fun. And we did some also, you know, full band shows we did together, and then also we did a couple solo acoustic things where it was just, you know, him and his guitar and me and the guitar, and doing our own little sets. So that was really neat too. I never did any shows solo, but we talked about it. I mean, we always talked about even doing tours together, but just never materialized. That's was always busy. It's, you know, when we're home, we don't really want to go back out on the road.
Yeah.
For something else, you know, when a little time off from testing, when have a little time off.
And as far as your Dave Rude band, has there been talk of you guys doing any live shows for this latest album, or do you think you might wait till you get something else out there?
Yeah, no shows, but I mean the band isn't together anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know what the future holds as far as that goes, but you know, like I said, I'm pretty excited about doing something new as a solo thing too. So you know, whenever that happens, which I'm hoping is this coming year, planning on it this coming year, you know, fun, then it means people.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't really want to go. I get home from touring, I don't want to go out on tour again with a different project.
Yeah.
So, if something comes up, if it's the right opportunity, I love playing live. So.
And I guess the last thing
maybe a new record, whenever that comes out, it'll be a vehicle to do some more gigs.
And I guess the last thing I have to ask is what's going on with Tesla? It's been a few years since you guys' last studio album. Can we expect a new album in 2014, or you guys at least get to work on?
Yeah. We've already written half the record. We'll be on next week to write the rest of it. Hopefully, knock on peak. And it sounded really great. We're all super excited about it. And it should be out in, I don't know, probably May or June 2014. So yeah, definitely new, all original Tesla record on the way very soon.
Wow, that's great to hear. Well, this has been again for a special we're doing. Called Remembering Ronnie Montrose, and we're interviewing you, of course, Dave, because like I said, you took part in the tribute concert, and I urge people, if they get a chance to go out and get that DVD, I think they can get it online. I think you can get it at Amazon.com, or I think you go to RonnieMontrose.com, and they got it there. It's really something special to see, especially if you're a Montrose fan, and if you're not, a diehard Montrose fan, I think after checking out the DVD, you'll become an instant fan. You'll want to go check out some of his stuff he's done. But there's more to the Ronnie Montrose legacy than just that one 1973 debut album, as great as that is. And we have Ronnie Montrose, of course, to thank for giving us, Sammy Hagar, and he went on to Van Halen's successful solo career. He's now in Chickenfoot. So thank you for helping us, pay tribute and remember Ronnie Montrose. I really appreciate it, Dave.
Oh man, pleasure of mine. Thanks for having me. And it was great to be part of that show. And can't wait to see that DVD.
Yeah, and as far as our little special, we hope to have all the interviews done by the end of this month and get it up on the internet in January. And once that happens, we'll be sure to let you know. Thanks again, Dave. Take care.